don't know how many times they've gone out there since they've been in this conference, but they've never gone into Death Valley and won.
This is the most intriguing matchup of the weekend because LSU will be at home and at night, and they already have 2 losses, which means you're going to see a team play like they have no margin for error with their backs against the wall.
What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday, so you know what time it is here at Crain & Company. It's time to make our picks. We're going to let them marinate, too, for a couple days. And, look, we love to have a guest on to do this show. We've had somewhere we didn't, somewhere we did. Make sure you're subscribed almost to 200K. We got a guy making his debut on Crain & Company.
Come on.
For the pick show today. Guy that we've known a while, does a really, really good job. You know him as the film guy. We know him as Brooks Austin, also the film guy. Brooks, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show, bud. Yes.
What's up, boys?
Hands.
How we doing? Vibes are high off rip. Vibes are high off rip. I like this.
Look,
like
you don't come in the gym in a bad mood. All right, there's good vibes in the gym. We get college football. Hell, we got college football tonight. There was some, yeah. Well, it depends on if I'm going to do the stairs or treadmill or not. All right, we got a bunch of games here, Brooks, but kind of just off the rip. This is something that we've talked about with Josh Pate. We've talked about with Pollock as we've kind of entered the halfway point, starting to get to the back end. I like to start off asking, can you remember a season where, A, it's felt like more teams could actually win a national championship, or a season where there wasn't 1 or 2 teams that were like, they're so much better than everybody else, it's going to take damn near a miracle for one of them not to win it? I get Ohio State's looked dominant on defense. Indiana's been very complimentary. But, man, I can't remember a season that I'm going into a 12-team playoff like, bro, there's way more teams that could win it than we've had in the past.
I would say, first and foremost, I feel that way about Ohio State, especially as Julian's saying continues to grow. I feel like since that Minnesota football game, he has really continued to blossom, and they've kind of let him, really drive the car. I mean, we all know that's a high-powered sports car out there, and they've allowed him to really take the governor off and kind of push it a little bit the last couple of weeks, and I think we've seen the results of that. But no, I'm with you from a parity standpoint. It makes sense. I mean, we saw the talent dispersion. We've seen it over the last 3 or 4 years, but really, I don't think we've ever had a time in college football where this many football teams feel like they can be committed and go, quote-unquote, all in. Like, they feel like they have a window, like they can go chase it. And that's why I feel like we have this many football teams where it feels like, yeah, I'm with you, where it's 8, 9, maybe 10 deep with regards to teams here in, mid-October. Like, we're in spooky season, right? And we got a lot more teams feeling like they got a chance at it than ever before. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I do, though, think there could have been some forecasting here, and I would imagine you guys were hitting on it, too. I mean, you just look up, and there's more better football players at more schools than I feel like we've ever had, and less depth at the top than we've ever had, except for maybe with some of these Big Ten teams. I feel like the top of the Big Ten is really, really top-loaded, and then we've got 10 teams in the Southeastern Conference that are really, really well committed to stacking rosters.
Well, speaking of Big Ten, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn here to my left, Blaine Crain, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver to my right. David, the Ohio State situation, we know how talented they are. We know when you look at Julian saying, like you say all the time, Carnell Tate's the number 1 wide receiver on pretty much any other team in the country outside of Ohio State when you have Jeremiah Smith. The schedule, though, now that we know that Texas isn't, what some people thought Texas was going to be, and we'll see if they're still in the hunt. I just wonder the game pressure that Ohio State hasn't faced yet. Are you where are you kind of on Ohio? We know they're good. Nobody's saying they're not good.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't know if they would be undefeated right now if they were in the Southeastern Conference, but they're not, and they're playing as well as they can possibly play. The schedule is not their fault. And also, I just continue to be more and more impressed with them when you consider a number of things. Not only is Julian Sand also a new quarterback, so that Week 1 matchup against Texas, they were both starting new quarterbacks, but they also sent 14 players to the NFL a year ago, 2 new coordinators. Remember, everybody thought things were going to fall off a cliff on the defensive side of the ball when Jim Knowles, one of the best DCs, goes in conference to Penn State. Well, all they do is go hire an NFL guy, and Matt Patricia, and he's out here running some schemes that I can barely even keep up with on tape. Not on the offensive side of the ball, you lose Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly helped win them some crucial games last year with his play calling on route to a national championship. Brian Hartline, who I played against when I was at Michigan, this guy has stepped in and done an incredible job with a young quarterback. So, yes, they always have good players. players. They always have some of the best players in the country, but there's a lot of good players. What they're doing is truly incredible. They deserve the number 1 spot right now, and let's just see if they can keep it rolling.
Well, to your point, Penn State had good players.
Yeah.
I mean, again, just because you have good players doesn't mean it's always going to work out. Blaine, I want to ask you, and
LSU's
Brooks,
got good players.
LSU's got good players.
Clemson has good players.
When we
LSU's
get
got
to that,
great players.
When we get to that, you played offensive line. I want to ask you about what you think about what's just gone on with Brian Kelly on that offensive line since he's gotten there. But Blaine, I want to ask you this first, and please, everybody feel free to jump in here. Who's the most underrated team right now in college football, do you think? Who's the most underrated? Is it Louisville still?
I don't think so. I would probably still say Vanderbilt.
Really?
I'd probably say Vanderbilt. I still think we're in the time right now where people still look as Vandy as the old Vanderbilt, or they're just sneaking up on people, or they're having a one-off year. Vanderbilt has the talent to win a national championship. They have a talent to win at least a couple playoff games. You have an experienced quarterback. You're older than any other team in college football, and I feel like you have the right guy at the helm. It's not just Vanderbilt showing up every Saturday and getting lucky. Vanderbilt shows up every Saturday and they just beat you for 4 quarters. Brooks, what do you think?
It's such a great take from Blaine. And I'm so tired of, like, you guys are like me. Y'all probably get asked to go on several different radio shows every week or so often. And like the amount of times I get asked, like, how does Vandy pull it off? Or like, how does Vandy come up with are they ready? Like, dude, we're 18 months into this. We're like,
for sure.
We're 18 games. We're 18 games into this. We're 18, 19 games into, nah, dude, you got to line up and beat Vandy today. Like, you got to line, especially offensively, like with what Tim Beck does, like, you got to line up and prepare and practice hard for what Vandy's about to throw at you, or you're going to get smacked in the mouth. And that's just the way it is. So, like, I'm with him. Like, they're still not talked about. They're still talked about as this, like, gritty underdog story that is not a football team that's tough to prepare for and filled with playmakers. Like, with these games being as tight as they are and the margins being so tight, if you don't got a bunch of playmakers, you're not winning games. Like, if you don't have guys that are making plays on critical downs, you're not winning games. And they have dudes that are balling on critical downs. Hey, you asked me about the most underrated team. I think there's 2 underrated football teams that are undefeated that are not getting talked about enough because people are doing the same thing we're doing with Ohio State, just not at a high rate. BYU's undefeated and A&M's undefeated. And I feel like nobody talks about either of those football programs. And they do it with toughness, physicality, and complementary football. And that's kind of like the stuff. Those are the goods. You know what I mean? That's like good football.
Well, and also, and we're going to get to this when we get to A&M, I've been so impressed because, again, and we need to just make it a shirt. I don't know why we haven't done it yet. But we always say the teams that win the most, whether it's college basketball, college football, any sport in general, they can win the most ways. Like, I'm watching A&M go win 41-40 and then win 16-10. Like that, especially in a playoff format where, heck, sometimes the shots aren't falling on offense. You got to win a game that's a rock fight with rebounding and making free throws. It's just so impressive to see teams like A&M that have been perennial, the 8-4 joke, or they can't get over the hump. Not just get over the hump once, but continually do it in a way that just shows you the culture shift. And I think that's why Mike Elko, again, when he got the job, we sat here and told people, like, he doesn't care about what happened. It's like, almost like Clark Lee. He doesn't care about what happened in the past. He is going to get every ounce out of every player that he has. And that's why I worked at Duke.
Well, they're ranked third. They're ranked third, so that's pretty high. And Vanderbilt's ranked 10th, so they're in the top 10. There's one team that's undefeated that's not even ranked, which is Navy. So if we're really going to talk about,
which was Cone's pick.
If we really, what was
Cone's G5 pick?
Hold on, I thought, what was the phrase you used? You said most underrated.
Yes. Yeah.
There's one of those teams that's not even ranked right now, and they're undefeated. Hey, keep unranking them. Keep not ranking them. That's my G5 pick. Keep rolling, Navy.
Yeah, they're more in a submarine than a ship on top of the water right now.
Hey, whatever helps you win games,
I know we got a lot
baby.
to do. I do want to circle back to the A&M discussion. You're talking about finding a lot of ways to win. Guys, they play complementary football within individual games. Yeah. Like, for example, when they find their defense giving up quick scores, their offense will just walk it 10 plays, 75 yards. Like, that's so valuable, so extremely valuable.
It is, and again, I mean, if you're an A&M fan, I think a lot of them are afraid to jinx it. I've never seen A&M fans be this quiet about something going good, which I totally 100% understand. But all right, let's start out with the first game here. Ole Miss at Oklahoma. You know the rules. Blaine, what is the spread? What is the total?
All right now the spread it opened at -4.5 Oklahoma, and it is sitting at -4.5 Oklahoma. The over-under sitting at 54.5, with Ole Miss money line going off at +170.
Brooks, I want to start out with you on this one because this is it's funny. We love Torrey Blaylock on this show. Like we think Torrey's really, really talented. I think he has a bright future. I think he's an NFL guy. But it's almost like it's strength versus strength, but also weakness versus weakness. Because if you look at Ole Miss, they really struggle to stop the run. Oklahoma struggled to run the ball consistently, as good as Blaylock, and we know Mateer's back and what he can do. But then you look at Ole Miss's offense, which is obviously their strength, going up against Oklahoma's strength, which is the defense, and especially that front seven.
Yeah.
Something's got to give in this game, man. Where's your feeling on a Wednesday about where this one's at?
You know, to me, and I don't know how you guys feel about Lane. I thought Lane's biggest question mark as a football coach was, can you win a big game on the road? I know you can win big games, but can your offense travel on the road? I thought we got a big answer last week with that. I mean, that's as good as an offense can humanly play against Georgia. They had 2 possessions that did not end in the place kicker finishing the drive. That's as good as it gets. So the offense traveled last week. I thought that was a big kind of check. We'll see if it doubles down again with that this week over there at Oklahoma. I think the interesting part about this is, like you mentioned, Oklahoma kind of found a run game last week with South Carolina. I just got done watching them on tape. They're doing a lot of funny stuff and very unique stuff with their splits, trying to help a offensive line out that's not all that great. And we're 3 years into the Oklahoma offensive line being not that great. And I know they're young, and Fasusi specifically at left tackle is like a blue chipper, and one day he might be really, really great, but he's still really young right now. So I'm with you. That really it worries me how Oklahoma's not good at it, but Ole Miss is bad at it with regards to what you're talking about, stopping the run and stuff. So it'll be interesting. My primary concern in this football game, and why I'm going to ultimately pick Ole Miss, by the way, I'm not saving pick predictions or whatever. We'll dump the clip on this episode with you guys. It doesn't really matter to me. We're a film guy play, not a predictions play, to be honest with you. All my episodes are all
put it together. Form the Mega
right
Ranger. Summer's packed schedule is done. Now it's about those solid fall weekends at home, catching games on the couch, and actually getting some decent sleep. Now, you've got your own routines down, your space dialed in, but here's what makes the difference. Upgrading to Boll & Branch's bed bundles, premium sheets, the right pillows, and blankets that actually work, built for those cold nights when you need real comfort, especially after watching your team blow a lead in the fourth quarter. We all know how that feels. Sometimes the best investment is in what helps you recharge. And Boll & Branch bed bundles are perfect for creating a sanctuary of comfort. Effortless upgrade, you'll get everything you need with the ease of a click. There's bundle options for every kind of refresh, from new sheets and blankets to a complete transformation. Bundles for every kind of sleeper with curated bedding for your coolest, coziest, or softest night's sleep, made with the highest quality 100% organic cotton in durable designs and customizable colors. My wife swears by it. I know we all have it.
The waffle blanket?
The waffle blanket.
That thing's awesome.
It's an absolute big hit in the household. Plus, it comes with a 30-night worry-free guarantee, so you can rest easy knowing you're covered. Boll & Branch makes upgrading your bed easier than ever with curated bundles for a sanctuary of comfort. And you can get 20% off for a limited time plus free shipping and returns at bollandbranch.com/booster. That's BOLLAND branch.com/booster to save up to 20% and unlock free shipping. Exclusions apply.
Yeah, no doubt. So either way, the reason I'm picking Ole Miss, I just got done watching it. Mateer was already an arm side miss guy. Like, Cone, you can allude to this. His entire body and platform floats bottom left, which means he misses arm away, high and away every time because he does not stop his body momentum. He's very rotational, and he throws from a 90-degree angle. And when we have a bad thumb, all that is exacerbated, and the amount of arm side misses that we have right now is really troublesome, and you can see it impacting their play calling. For example, anytime Ben Arbuckle has been in 2nd and 5 in his life, if he has ever earned the right to be in 2nd and 5, which 2nd and medium or 2nd and short, that SOB is hunting. He is hunting explosives. Last week on 2nd and 5, they were going right back to the run game to get into a 3rd and 2 so they could maybe quarterback run game themselves, or why stick themselves into a first down. That's not Ben Arbuckle. That's not John Mateer. And they can tell me that he's healthy. They can tell me that he's good enough to play, and he is. He's good enough to go compete. But he might not be good enough to beat a top 10 football team. And that's what I think Ole Miss ultimately is.
Well, Cone, to that point, I mean, I'd love to see John Mateer's two-seam fastball from that arm slot. That thing may start in the left-hand batter's box and end up at third base by the time it's done, because it does move like that. You can see it. The reason I'm going to go with Oklahoma in this one is that we know the run game is also a time of possession play. It's a limit possession play. I think Oklahoma, and again, that's why I think, and I've said it 8 times, what LSU did in the second half offensively from a play calling standpoint against Ole Miss was malpractice. It was coaching malpractice with the way that Ole Miss adjusted and LSU just gave up on the run game. I like Oklahoma to be able to limit possessions. I do think Ole Miss will score, but it's hard for me to pick against this Oklahoma defense at home. Trinidad's due for a couple. He's due for a couple to bounce the wrong way. And damn, that front seven from Oklahoma. You talk about film. I'll watch the front seven from Oklahoma play all day, buddy, and twice on Sunday.
I'll watch anything Venables throws on tape.
Dude.
I'll watch it all. I'll watch it all. That guy's a lunatic.
And they play like
Controlled
madmen.
chaos.
They play like madmen.
Yeah,
I mean, the
chaos.
Ole Miss offense on that Oklahoma defense is must-watch television. I mean, you're going to see a lot of NFL stuff. NFL scouts are going to be watching that matchup for sure. On the other side of that, though, I like Oklahoma's offense more than Ole Miss's defense. I think that we can say that. There is nothing more frustrating than an arm side miss. I'll give Brooks credit on that. But I just don't know how much he's going to have to throw it with the way Ole Miss struggles against the run. Again, the only team they stopped the run against was LSU. Got to go back and really break down that film. But I like Oklahoma to win this game. You add in the fact that they're at home, I'll take the Sooners.
Blaine?
Yeah, I'm going to take Brent Venables' defense at home. I just trust it a little bit more. And it's just this Lane Kiffin, look, Trinidad, this offense will get theirs. But I just think if it was at Ole Miss, I'd pick Ole Miss. Since it's at Oklahoma, I'm going to take Oklahoma.
It just feels like a 27-23.
This might be whoever has the ball last wins.
Which that would be the under, right?
That'd be the under and then 4.5. Yeah, it's going to be great either way. All right, I'm trying to remember the last group of 5 game that we picked. But even with Memphis losing to UAB, and all respect to Navy, who's undefeated, who needs Notre Dame to keep playing well too, and they're going to play USF. USF goes on the road to play Memphis. And what's funny is it seems like every time USF plays in a big game, we're like, all right, we know Byron Brown can't throw it. We know he can't throw it. At some point, they're going to find a way to limit him on the ground or whatever. But he's a bull in a china shop, man. You look at Memphis, the problems they've had at quarterback. They rolled their helmet out there last week against UAB, who just fired their coach and thought they were going to win, and they didn't. Blaine, what is the total? What is the spread in this one? I haven't even seen it. I can't even remember off the top of my head.
Right now it opened -3.5 USF. Is right now it's sitting -4.5 USF. So bought up a point. The over-under in this game is 63.5. Probably want to take the over. Money line for Memphis is +175.
I'm telling you right now, I'm going with South Florida. I think Memphis is going to get back up after getting knocked on the mat because they have to. I don't think you can, again, the transitive property, that's a dangerous way to go through life. I just, again, at the end of the day, I love this team plays like their head coach. Like you can tell the team is taking on the identity of the head coach. They're finding different ways to win. But I think Byron Brown's ability to just, spit the now screen out. He can throw a slant. That's all they really need from them. They're going warp speed. I think South Florida finds a way, but I think this game is close. Give me South Florida walk-off field goal to win it. Brooksy, what do you think?
Of all the head football coaches in America right now having to go to the microphone and do I'm where my feet are, I'm planning where I'm at. If there is one of these guys that I actually believe when he says that, it might be Alex Golesh, of all of them that I think can actually lock in and take care of his business. This is it for them, by the way. This was preseason, it looked like on paper, this was going to decide this conference, and this conference might ultimately, I know Navy's still hanging around. I don't mean to demean the folks out there in the midshipmen, but this was the one, and we kind of pointed to this one. I think Alex Golesh gets his football team up and ready for this one, and they ultimately win the game. Also, by the way, Memphis basically is the mid-major Texas Tech. I don't know if everyone knows this. I'm sure you guys do. But FedEx gave them $20 million to go spend in a mid-major level. Nobody else has that money. It's a competitive disadvantage. I root against that. Give me the Bulls.
Yeah, well, that's why I've said I think when we get to this breakaway Super League that we're going, Memphis needs to be in it. I would rather take Wake Forest or somebody out of the Power Four and put Memphis in it. We have family in Tupelo. We know how much money.
It's a fair take, especially when you consider like if all sports are included. I know we're talking about Super League football wise, but yeah, I mean, it's about commitment. It's about dollars. It's about whether or not you can actually go do this. I'm with you.
Yeah. Blaine, who do you like in this?
Well, give me Mr. Do-It-All Byron Brown. I mean, I know why. The Dollar General Cam Newton 2.0. USF's my group of 5 to make it to the playoffs. That's not changing now. They're better than Memphis.
David? You going with
I'm particularly interested in turnovers in this game. That's one thing that was frustrating with Memphis losing on the road to UAB is they actually won the turnover battle. Yeah. You go back to that Arkansas game, they won the turnover battle and they won time of possession in that victory. The thing with South Florida, though, they haven't lost the turnover battle in a single football game this year. But you know what? I'm going to save the graphic. I'm going to take Memphis at home.
I'm going to
take Memphis at home. Everybody's talking about Alex Golish. How about we talk about Ryan Silverfield? It's the most what?
Navy thing.
How about you shut up while I'm making my pick? Okay? Ryan Silverfield, Memphis Tigers at home win.
I don't know. Cone's going to make me start rooting for Navy. I mean, look my grandfather was in the Navy. I mean, you know, you want to talk about somebody that hates Notre Dame. If you're a Navy fan, they hate Notre Dame. I don't think enough people know that. All right. Speaking about hate, we just got done with the Holy War. BYU was able to beat Utah. They're going to go out, and this is a dangerous game coming off of a high. I always said it was so much easier to get our guys up to go play in a big one after a tough loss than a great win. And they're going to have to go out and play Matt Campbell and Iowa State. Blaine, what is the number on this, and what is the total? Because this is going to be a sneaky, good-ass football game.
Right now, it opened -2.5 Iowa State. It is sitting at -2.5 Iowa State.
So it hadn't moved.
Money's laying the -2.5 for Iowa State, though. Over-under sitting at 49.5 money line, going off +125 for BYU.
Yes, Brooks Austin.
Is Big Citrus the nose tackle from Iowa State playing?
Dude.
Do we know?
Let's look that up. You want to talk about underrated players in the country? Go back and watch.
It changes everything that they do. They run a 3-3-5, and if Big Citrus ain't playing, they giving up 250 on the ground. So let's find out if Big Citrus is playing.
Yeah, you can't run 3 down and not have a nose or a 0 that's a damn dog.
No.
It just don't work that way. Any update over there?
No, and
I'm looking.
That's the only thing I want to know before I make this pick, because look, I think there's not a more underrated football coach in maybe America right now than Kalani Sitake. Like, this dude lost his quarterback to premarital sex this season.
Yeah.
And he found a wide receiver that wears 47 that's mean as hell, that plays quarterback, that's now throwing for 300 yards a game every once in a while. Like, what is going on with that? You know what I mean? Like, that guy is doing a hell of a job coaching, but Matt Campbell always does as well. Do we have an answer on Big Citrus?
He is, breaking news, he is playing this week.
Okay.
He's expected to play.
Well, you know, to that.
Give me the Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm riding with Iowa State in this one. And it's funny because Matt Campbell just does this. Like, he started out 0-3 or something a couple years ago, and then got in a fight with a fan, and then they ended up winning out. They kind of yo-yo. They always have a couple big wins. Maybe a fan should try and fight him before this one. We can talk about Rocco Beck. You talk about underrated. I think Jay Hill from BYU, his name needs to start getting mentioned. I think it will with some of these group of 5 jobs that are going to open up. If this game was at BYU, I would take BYU. But since it's at Iowa State, it's just. And again, I know we're like, hey, BYU's got to prove it on the back end. We know the schedule is coming up, Texas Tech, this, that, and the other. I like Rocco Beck. I like Iowa State at home. Give me the Cyclones too, Blaine. What do you think?
I'm going with the Cyclones too. This is the most Matt Campbell win you've ever seen in your life. BYU, trust me, rode with BYU versus Utah.
You did.
Joseph Smith and the boys. I just feel like this.
Smith and the boys.
Yeah, I feel like this. They're extremely on a high right now. But you walk into Iowa State on 2:30 on a weekend. Sometimes you take it out.
Well, I'll tell you two other things Iowa State has going for them. They're coming off back-to-back losses, so their back's really against the wall, particularly in conference, because those are 2 conference losses, plus a bye. Yeah. So loss, and a bye to prep for this game, and they're going to be at home, but all of that gets offset when you have a quarterback named Bear Bachmeier. I don't know if you guys watched the football game last week with the color rush unis. Give me Bear Bachmeier and BYU.
The Boxster.
Staying rolling.
Tony's going against type today, and I love it. It's just he's on his Joker-ish right now. Speaking about another maybe sneaky game here, we'll see. I'm going to start off before. It's Bama at South Carolina. How much heat is Shane under? Brooks, do you think, honestly, like, we're hearing about Hugh, obviously,
first of all,
you're hearing
hold
about Norvell, like,
what do we? That dude, we just got done tweeting the graphics that dude broke the head ball coach's record with fastest to 35 wins. Like we tweeted that joker like a month ago, and now he's on the hot seat because he. Well,
you know how quickly it turns. You know how quickly it turns.
I know, and we knew it was going to be like a tough stretch down the road. Like it's going to get worse and worse and worse. But my biggest concern about Shane, and it's always been a concern about Shane, it's a concern about anybody who has never called the plays and done it at a high rate as a coordinator, in my opinion. I thought this way about Sam Pittman. I feel this way about Shane Beamer. I feel this way about guys that didn't reach the pinnacle as a coordinator because they can't go over in the midst of the season and just take over and make it right. If like he's done a great job hiring his defensive coordinator, that guy's been there his entire time. They play good ball on the defensive side of the football. But he's had to go through 4 offensive hires, and they're not great. Like, he's had one good one, and it was Dow Loggins, and it was so good that he got the head coaching job at App State, and he's doing a damn good job down there, like, I think, personally. So, like, this has always been my concern about Shane, and, like, you can't go in there and just take it over and make it right. And right now, offensively, they're putrid. They're really, really bad.
Well, the offensive line's bad again.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Again, like 3 years in a row, and they didn't throw stabs at it. They didn't go out and throw groceries at that area this offseason. Like, I understand they thought Casey Henry and Josiah Thompson were going to be better, and they haven't progressed, and that's one thing. But, like, we didn't throw enough bodies at the interior either to make them better. So, like, yeah, they've had roster concerns multiple years over at the same spot, and they fired Lonnie Teasley, and that wasn't – I mean, yeah, the offensive line's bad, but there's a lot other stuff going on. Hey, here's one thing for you guys. Y'all know ball. Cone, Crain, both the Crain guys. Like, hey, if we can't block 5 with 5, why in the hell are we bringing 9 guys into the box trying to block 9 with 9?
You know that old saying, the best offense is a good defense? Well, it's not just true in sports. It applies to life, too. Now, the smartest defense you can have is making sure you've got the right life insurance coverage. And that's exactly what SelectQuote is doing. They help you find the best protection at the best price. Now, that's what I call playing it smart. SelectQuote makes it simple. For over 40 years, they've helped more than 2 million Americans find the right coverage by comparing plans from top-rated insurers to match your health, lifestyle, and budget, all for free. Now, their licensed agents, they take the guesswork out of sorting through confusing options. You can get same-day coverage up to $2 million with no medical exam required, even if you have pre-existing conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease. SelectQuote partners with companies that offer suitable policies. Life insurance is never cheaper than it is today, so visit SelectQuote.com. Let their agents find the right policy for your life and budget. It's never been cheaper than it is, so get the right life insurance for you for less and save more at SelectQuote.com/booster. You can save more than 50% on term life insurance. That's SelectQuote.com/booster. Head over there today to get started. SelectQuote.com/booster. Yeah.
It doesn't make it better. We just added more probabilities that we're going to lose. What are we doing?
It's like in basketball. At some point, if you can't do anything, just play 5 out, dog. Yeah. Just play 5 out.
Bro, just play 5 out. Just ISO ball, find the dude. What are we doing,
you have a dinosaur at quarterback.
Just put a center in Lenore's there and see how they line
just go
up.
polecat. I'd go the opposite. I may just run double polecat.
And it sucks to see because like this you do have talent on the South Carolina team, especially on this offense. I mean, you have Lenore Sellers, who is a lot of people's Heisman favorite before the season started. You have Nick Harbor, who's a thing from just of outer space.
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't sent Nick Harbor and Dylan Stewart to Ukraine.
I mean, and you got that good running back. It's sad to see. I think Alabama covers in this game.
Okay,
right now it's sitting at minus. It opened at minus 13.5 Alabama.
This has got 38-9 written all over
Yeah,
it
opened at minus 13.5 Alabama. This game is at South Carolina. Right now it's sitting at minus 12.5, over under 47.5. Money line for South Carolina going off at plus 3.
Well, I also saw Dylan Stewart go down last week, and he tried to come back in. He took 2 steps. I think it was a hip. Maybe it's a flexor or a pointer, and that doesn't just get better quickly if you've ever had one of those. And against Bama, if you don't have your superheroes, the city's getting destroyed. Like, it's a wrap. I think Bama rolls in this one. I think Lenoris is going to make a couple superhuman plays to get them down the field, but I worry about them in the red zone because that's where it's really going to
like Lenoris has to make a superhuman play to get 4 yards.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just... You're having to ask him to do not in the sport of football. Like, it's just not going to work. I got Bama big.
It's gotten to the point for 2 straight years that he has to play superhero so much that he can't do the vanilla no more.
For sure.
He can't take the easy answers. And I would say 75% of the quarterback position is supposed to be you playing within the system. And then the other 25% is you supposed to be in a superhero at the elite levels. And by the time he's asked to do the basics, he's conditioned to be a superhero still. Yeah. And it's really stunted his growth, honestly. Like, I went into this season thinking that guy might be QB1 by the end of the year in the draft process, and it's not there. It's not what it is. I feel the same way about Nuss. Yeah. Nuss has gone downhill for me decision-making wise.
Cone, he may be playing against QB1 in the NFL draft this weekend with Ty Simpson.
That's true. That guy's balling.
For real.
Like,
Coach Beamer didn't reach the pinnacle as a coordinator, but he did reach the pinnacle as a recruiting coordinator, and that's what he was known for. And he's gotten some really great players in there. We're talking about him. Unfortunately, that hasn't been enough, and there hasn't been enough balance. And it would be one thing, it would be more understandable if you just couldn't get the quarterback position right at South Carolina. But I'm watching Spencer Rattler play in the NFL. You got him to come to South Carolina. Like we just said, Lenore Sellers has as much potential as anyone in the country. This game did get really weird down the stretch a year ago. You remember that fourth
South
quarter?
Carolina got an onside kick.
South Carolina almost won that thing at the last minute. I just don't think that's the way it's going to be this year. Alabama keeps rolling. Give me the Tide.
Yeah, and to the
play
point
calls down the stretch in that football game from Loggins were insane.
Yeah, he was. It's like rhythm shooter. Like, I know I keep using basketball rigs, but some of these coordinators are rhythm shooters. And again, I think he masked some things last year up front. Did a really good job of it. All right, speaking about mask, as a guy from Auburn, I just wish I could walk around in a mask. They're playing. Yeah. Well, again, we'll get into what type of mask, and it's not one of those fun parties either. Auburn is going to Fayetteville to play an Arkansas team that, you talk about underrated, Taylon Green, I think is getting close to making himself a decent amount of money if he keeps up at this point. I don't know how it'll work out for him in the league. I think he's going to get a shot. I mean, hell, it's basically a Toys R Us commercial every time he's on. He's a giraffe. But Blaine, what's the line on this one? What's the total?
Right now it opened at -1.5 Arkansas. It's sitting at -2.5 Arkansas. This game is at Arkansas. Over under 57.5 with money line for Auburn going off at +105.
Blaine, talk me into Auburn.
Good luck.
Talk me into it.
If the Arkansas bus can crash on the way to the stadium, nothing fatal. Maybe a couple tires pop. I mean, with the over/under sitting at 57.5, I mean, can Arkansas score more than 57? Because, I mean...
Arkansas's defense is bad.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if there's ever time for Auburn's offense to figure it out, it's against Arkansas's defense, I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to call timeout on that.
You got
Arkansas's coverage unit ain't bad.
Yeah.
You're intending on Jackson Arnold
them
throwing
corners
it.
can cover. Them corners can
I
cover
know.
now.
Trust me, Brooks, we're not going to throw it. That's a crazy
How many
idea.
times can you run power read?
Yeah.
That's what this game would be for me if I was Auburn. But to that point, I mean, you ever seen two ugly people kissing? This is what you're going to see with Auburn's offense and Arkansas.
No, well, like when it comes to Arkansas, like you have a Ferrari at a trailer park, right?
Yeah.
With Taylon Green. And you come to Auburn, it's just a trailer park, dog.
Now we're good on defense.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the foundations are strong.
Yeah.
Got
Those cinder blocks don't move.
Yeah, but I mean, my TV hadn't worked in months.
Yeah. Brooks, are you taking Arkansas?
Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas.
Okay.
In this game.
Brooks, who do you like?
I just love listening to this from Auburn's fans' perspective. Guys that know ball, too, like, woo, I bet it's like pulling teeth watching that offense.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. It's like I have to look at
Auburn guy. Like, you guys are Auburn loyalty, like royalty. Like, you guys have to watch it.
I literally get so it's so frustrating. I have to look at my 9-month-old daughter to just put everything in perspective, and then realize Auburn doesn't pay my mortgage. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But
what's even crazier is that, like, he admitted last week he's over there on the iPad during the games. He's over there. He said as a head football coach that he watches most of the game on the iPad during the game. Like, your sole job is to call plays offensively and you can't do nothing?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, how about a player comp for Taylon Green? A slightly more athletic Justin Herbert? How we feel about that?
I don't hate that.
I like that.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
I like me some Taylon Green as well. I think Arkansas wins this football game because they have offensive pulse. And I know their defense is not all that great, but their offense can protect that defense. Their offense, since Bobby has taken over this job, by the way, I think he was definitely sandbagging the last couple of weeks under Sam Pittman, because I'm watching this guy walk the football against SEC teams. Like, it hasn't been 2 plays, 70-yard scores the last couple of weeks from Arkansas. It's been 10 plays. I'm dialing it up. I'm going to walk it up on your butt and score type of possessions. Like, that's really good coordinating going on from Petrino against a football team, or from a coordinator that put up 13 points against Notre Dame. Like, I think the guy was, like you said, internal coup. I don't put it past Bobby P to do any of that.
That's what Blaine said.
Don't put it past him. That's his MO.
Yeah, Blaine said Petrino was like Tom Cruise in Valkyrie, which still, I've been laughing at that driving
It worked,
home.
though. He put the suitcase in the right place.
Golly. Just makes me sick because it's true.
I'm going Arkansas because why would I not?
Yeah.
Why would I not? You know what? It'll be close. Auburn will probably be leading the whole game until the last 35 seconds. You want to know why? Because they're mentally weak. They're mentally weak. Sometimes you got to realize you're not a dinosaur.
Man, this really is best on best and worst on worst, though. I mean,
sure.
Because Auburn has been great on defense, right? This Arkansas offense, I say the same thing like I said with Ole Miss's offense against Oklahoma's defense. That'll be must-watch TV, but then who wins the worst on worst with Auburn on offense and Arkansas on defense? Like you said, just run power read and let's just see how many yards we
I'd run it 35
against
times.
this Arkansas defense. If it were at home in the Plains, that might be a little bit different story, and I certainly have no love for Bobby Petrino, but give me Arkansas at home.
All right, look, smart picks, everybody, smart picks. All right, this next game, I don't think you're going to hear a lot about it, and I actually picked, Brooks, Washington to go 10-2 and make the college football playoff before the season. Blaine, what is the line? Is Illinois a favorite at Washington this game, or is it DeMond?
That is incorrect, Coach. DeMond Williams, yes. This game is at Washington. Open at -4.5 Washington, and it is sitting at -4.5 Washington. Over under 54.5 for the total. Money line going off for Illinois at +160.
I tell you, man, look, I know it wasn't pretty against Michigan. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Wink Martindale and Michigan, even though, hey, can we turn around in the seam and try and find the pass if we're a tight end for Washington? Just maybe turn around one time in the second half. We saw those 2 interceptions. I'm going to go Washington here. I love Luke Altmaier. I think Bielema's done a great job at Illinois. I know he's trying to be the Lane Kiffin of the Big Ten. I can respect, trying to carve out that territory. I'm just at home. Washington's got one of the best home environments in the country. They're still in the hunt. You look at the rest of that schedule. If you're able to win this one, it's probably going to come down to can you beat Oregon at home to go 10-2, which 10-2 equals college football playoff in the Big Ten. I think DeMond Williams goes off in this game. I know he threw for 400 and ran for 400 or ran for 100.
He ran for
400, threw for 400. I'd call the cops.
Threw for 400, ran for over 100, which I think he was the 4th player in college
which that's
history.
insane. That's absolutely insane. I'm going to take Washington here. I think Illinois is going to be able to score. I just love the trio of DeMond Williams, Jonah Coleman, and Denzel Boston. I don't think Jonah Coleman gets the love he deserves at running back. Brooks, let's start with you. Out there in the Big Ten, who do you like? You like to fight in the Illini? You like the Huskies? You guys have heard of the Bearskin hoodie, right? Well, the smart people are locking in their winter gear now because this is hands down the best time to prep for the coming winter, and it is coming. Bearskin's running a 60% off deal right now, but only if you get your hoodie early. It's built like a tank, 340 GSM, micro fleece, 10 pockets with a clean, rugged fit that looks awesome. Plus, it zips right into a heavy storm rain jacket to become 100% waterproof when you need it. So when it turns cold, wet, and windy, you're not scrambling in the last minute. You can see it here. We got both of them. We've all worn them. We love them. Have fun over there with it, Coney. You'll get free U.S. shipping, fast delivery, and you've locked in your winter gear already. It's a great feeling, and it's a win-win. So do yourself a favor. Text the word Crain, that's C-R-A-I-N, to 36912 to lock in that 60% off. Again, text Crain to 36912. You'll get the link sent straight to your phone so you can check it out later if you're busy right now. So don't wait until you're freezing to realize that your hoodie sucks. Get a Bearskin now while it's 60% off. Text C-R-A-I-N to 36912.
I'm just so sick and tired of the Big Ten bias in all these AP poll rankings. I mean, this Illinois team, guys, just because they're a Big Ten team, I mean, they get their doors blown off by Indiana. They get their doors blown off by Ohio State. They've played nobody and they're still ranked. Cone, I mean, no way. This is all Big Ten bias right here. This has to be right.
I watched them beat USC at home. I think USC is pretty good.
I'm just messing with you.
Well, to that point though,
I think they're good. I think they're a good football team, man. But man, they've looked bad at some losses.
Well, who are those?
Right.
Hold on, who are those? Are those 2 losses to the 1 and 2 team in the country?
Oh, great football teams. Yeah. You got me.
No,
Look,
I'm asking.
I'm trolling you, bud.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love
You're
it.
100% right. Look, and look, here's the most impressive thing about me, or in my opinion. Illinois out-explosive USC in a game that mattered. Like, explosives mattered. I never would have thought, having been an SEC hack and an SEC-biased homer and admitting to that, I never thought, Brett Bielema, 12 personnel, 6'9" offensive lineman, I'm going to out-explosive you guy. That was beyond me. Another take I have on this football game is that I think Jed Fish took the wrong job a year early, because if he were having this same exact record at Arizona this year, or was doing what he was doing at Arizona, he'd probably be up for that Florida job where he went to school. And instead, he's stuck at Washington, and nobody's talking about him because he just got there. Give me the Huskies in this football game, though. I like Demond Williams.
I think you can make an argument that Washington, should be ranked too. I know, what's Illinois, 24, 23? 23 right there. All right, that's our Blaine. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'm going to Washington.
Jed Fish
fighting for a bigger job. He needs this win.
All right, our last 2 are SEC.
I'll take Washington.
Oh, did you not? Sorry, David. How do I forget the guy who played in the Big Ten? You're going to take Washington too. So everybody is taking Washington here. These last 2, this Texas A&M and LSU game. Blaine, before we get into it, because I do want to dive into what's going on the offensive line with LSU, what is the total and what is the spread on this one?
Game open at -2.5. Texas A&M. This game is at Death Valley at 6:30 at night, so good luck on that. Over under 48.5. Money line for LSU going off at +125.
Brooks, is the LSU offensive line, is it talent? Is it lack of coaching? Is it a combination of it? Because even go back and watch Jaden Daniels. Like, this man really kind of masked some problems they had at some spots in that offensive line too. Brian Kelly can't get this right. He just can't get it right.
Dude, I thought they were bad last year. Like, I know they had 2 NFL tackles, and that's all great and fine and dandy, but they also gave up 9 sacks on the road in Gainesville a year ago. Like, they were food guard to guard for most of the SEC schedule last year. And I don't think anything has improved. In fact, they've gotten worse. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's a matter of the whole thing has to be questioned. And the other thing about LSU for me, and the primary concern for me, is that it's constantly a new problem for them every year. Like, a couple years ago, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Now they've got one of the better defensive units, but they keep leaving the dudes on the field. Like the last 2 years, they could not run the football. Like, I had someone mention this to me the other day, and it's such a nail on the head moment. It should have been an eye-opening thing for us. The fact that LSU, Louisiana State University, is going into the portal for wide receivers, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. You can go outside in Baton Rouge and throw a rock and hit a 4-star in the face, at that position. So the idea that should have been like an immediate alarms going off type of thing for me. I like A&M in this football game. I like A&M as a whole offensively. I think they're really well balanced. And like we talked about earlier, they're playing complementary football. Give me A&M. They've never done it, by the way. They've never gone into Death Valley and won. I don't know how many times they've gone out there since they've been in this conference, but it's been a tough, spooky place for them. Yeah. I think they get over the mark.
Yeah, I mean, they're shattering glass ceilings left and right over there. Cone, LSU's kind of like if you own a house, some new thing is always broken. Like right when you fix one thing, something else is always broken. Like you fix the drain in the sink, but now all of a sudden there's a hole in the fence. It's just the way it works, or the washer goes out.
Ain't supposed to be like that in that neighborhood, though. Ain't supposed to be like that in that neighborhood.
Look, that's what I'm saying. It's that's the problem. To the point that you made, I agree with you. Coney, I mean, where are you laying on this one?
This is the most intriguing matchup of the weekend because LSU will be at home. That's the best home field advantage in college football, and at night, and they already have 2 losses, which means you're going to see a team play like they have no margin for error with their backs against the wall. At the same time, I think Texas A&M is a better football team. So what gives in that scenario? Something has to give. I'm just done picking against Texas A&M. I think they go on the road and get a win in Death Valley.
Blaine? A&M, LSU?
Well, I will say this. Texas A&M has played in Death Valley 30 times. They played a total of 63 meetings. Texas A&M last win in Baton Rouge was in 1994. They won 18-13. But, I mean, obviously that hasn't been since they joined the SEC.
Yeah.
So he's never won down. I just can't. Look, I've been on the LSU train.
Yeah, you got the Burrow hair.
I can't do it anymore. I don't know what the problem is on offense, if it's coaching, if it's talent. But you have NFL receivers. You had, in my opinion, an NFL quarterback, an NFL running back, and you just can't figure it out offensively. And it's time I gave this Texas A&M team their roses. They're a damn good football team on both sides of the ball. And Mike Elko got this team figured out. Even with this game being in Baton Rouge, I think A&M's finally figured out a way to win the games when they have to.
Yeah.
Right? And A&M has always been on the other side of that.
Go ahead, Brooks.
Yeah, no, if you're interested in like football and like particularly run schemes, I don't think there's a team in college football that's not like triple optioning their way to elite, like finding and attacking natural bubbles and voids in defenses. Every defense they line up against, when they call run plays, they're calling run concepts to attack the natural voids in the defense. And that's the whole goal. They're putting running backs on safeties at a higher rate than anybody else right now in this conference. Yeah. That includes Georgia. Georgia's running the football at will very traditionally right now.
Well, too, and I think A&M is one of the best, not even talking about the run game, but in the pass game. You look at some of these yardage numbers that Marcel Reed's put up. I mean, we looked at the Notre Dame one. He was 17 of 37, but threw for like 300 yards. It's because Mario Craver and Concepcion, I think, are the best duo of run after the catch. Like, that is where, they've hit deep balls. They're starting to hit him at a higher rate with Marcel, but it's the run after the catch. Again, we talked about A&M winning in multiple ways. It's been so beautiful to watch. I know as a fan base, they're really excited. But LSU's going to win this football game. And I'm going to tell you why I think they're going to win this football game. Look at A&M's defense. Where have they struggled? On the road. You gave up 40 to a really good Notre Dame offense. I mean, C.J. Carr, again, we talk about young guys that are punching above their weight. I mean, he's turning into a star before our own very eyes. They gave up how many to Arkansas? 42 against a really, really talented Arkansas offense that we just talked about against Auburn. The defense, I think, last game, they probably had their worst game, I think, overall. This is at home. LSU's got their backs against the wall. You lose this one, you're not making the college football playoff. I don't think a 9-3 LSU gets in. For some reason, just my gut is telling me, not that LSU will somehow figure out the run game, but this is one of those games where Trey'Dez Green's going to freak out because I don't know how you cover that guy. I don't know what you do to cover him in football or basketball when he gets ahead of steam. You look at Xavier Thomas, you look at Brown, the weapons they have. I think this LSU defense wins this game for the Tigers down there in Baton Rouge. I'm going to go LSU to win. And
wow.
I'm going to go. But
what's your final score?
My final score, give me LSU. I think they scored a defensive touchdown in this game. Give me LSU 27, Texas A&M 24. That's what I'm going.
I was going to say the only recipe for a win for LSU is to hold that A&M offense to sub 24 points.
Yeah,
I just don't think LSU's offense is going to score 30 on Saturday night.
That's the number. And I'm throwing a defensive touchdown.
What's interesting is that with Texas A&M's worst defensive performances, there have been multiple variables. They've been on the road, like you said, at Arkansas and at Notre Dame, but then also they were playing really good offense.
They were.
This time they will be on the road, but they're not going to be playing a really good offense. So let's see, does that Texas A&M defense have a road problem, or do they just have a problem with really good offenses? It'll be telling.
Well, the other side of that coin is too, and you're right that they've struggled against really good offenses. They also, with Notre Dame and Arkansas, I don't think either one of those defenses is great. I think Notre Dame on the defensive side has been a big disappointment. We know what Arkansas has been. It's been a Swiss cheese factory so far this season. So again, it's two heads of that coin. Which one's going to give it? That's why I think the LSU defense at the end of the day is the one that wins this one. But last one, and then we got a little bit of an add-on because there's a rivalry game with a former Michigan quarterback we got to talk about after this. But believe it or not, College Game Day, this is now the second time they've been involved in a Vanderbilt game. But this time, Vandy hosts in our backyard in Nashville, Missouri, and Drinkowitz, a name you're hearing in this Florida search a lot. Coming off that big win on the road against Auburn in overtime. You're going to go play Diego Pavia, or as Blaine calls him, the terrorist, the threat to world peace. What's the line and what's the total on this one?
Right now, the game open at -2.5. Vanderbilt, it's sitting at -2.5. Vanderbilt over under 52.5. Moneyline Missouri going off at +120.
Brooks, what do you think?
I think I need to watch Crain and Company a little more often to find out why Diego Pavi's a terrorist.
Look, he said right here. There's a threat to world peace.
There's a whole syndicate, Brooks. I don't know if you want me to go dive into the tea leaves.
No, we're good. We don't need to sidetrack too much. Look, I think the biggest question of this football game and the biggest question when you play Missouri is how in the hell do we handle Zion Young and Damon Wilson?
Yeah.
I think Vandy is relatively well equipped because they're going to at least make them do a lot of this. And I don't know if you're listening to me on podcast, but they're going to make them stand flat-footed and read mesh points a lot on Saturday, and that slows down rushes quite a bit. Also, I don't know how you guys feel about Bo Pribula, but I feel as if that football player is very, very frantic and is on the verge of a catastrophic mistake about 60% of the snaps in which he has the ball in his hand.
If the first read's not there, it's a panic.
Ooh, boy, is it a frantic fest. I mean, and it is run around like a chicken with my head cut off and pray to God he pulls the football down and doesn't throw it. Like, that's the way I feel about him at the position. And look, he's young, like relatively from a playing experience standpoint. Yeah. So maybe we grow out of these things, but there's not a lot of being able to play the position right about now. And that scares me in this conference and in tight ball games like I think this one's going to be. Look, I'm believing in Vandy until in games like this. I don't believe in them against a roster that's plethoras of blue chippers, but I think they can manage this one. Like this is a who can run the football best and who can get my run game established as always with Missouri and that Ahmad Hardy rushing attack. They got a chance, but I really, really love the way this Vandy football team is put together. They got really, really good movers. I don't think enough people are talking about the job that Barton Simmons has done, a former media guy that used to do rankings that nobody believes in, that now has a roster filled with great, great football players that everybody overlooked.
David, we talk about time of possession. It's been one of the biggest things for Vanderbilt. They're more of an anaconda than they are a cobra. They're just going to squeeze you out for 4 quarters. Where are you kind of leaning on this one?
Diego Pavia at home? Yeah, I'll take that guy.
Cinema.
Give me him.
Cinema.
I got making up to do from last week for sure.
No, I'm with you. I'm going to take Vandy here. And a lot to Brooks's point. It's funny, Vandy has good enough players now, but they still run a system that neutralizes the athleticism that they're going against. So they've upgraded the personnel, still have an identity of we need to slow down the other team. We're going to do this. You get so much pre-snap side to side. Diego can do so many things when the play breaks down. To your point, I think Pribula makes a couple mistakes. And outside of the Bama game, you know, Diego turns it over twice in the red zone. Vandy really doesn't beat themselves. And most teams in college football lose games. They don't win them.
This is why I really feel like I like the under in this game. I mean, 52.5. This game's going to be over in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's
true. We are just feeding Eli Drinkowitz's underdog card this week. Oh, my
absolutely.
Lord.
I mean, trust me. I'm not helping with the banner.
The nation's sleeping on us against Vandy game.
Yeah. The first time it's ever happened in college football. This game comes down to which quarterback I trust more, and it's Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
Like, really, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised that Tim Beck and Clark Lee's names not getting mentioned more in these coaching searches.
Well, I think you're going to start hearing
what Tim does with this offense from a defensive standpoint is just, it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It sucks. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter how physically talented you are. How mentally talented are you?
Yeah.
Because it makes you have to choose the right decision fundamentally. And I think Missouri's going to struggle a little bit with that. And I trust Diego Pavia, especially in the red zone, to go get 7 points more than I trust Bo Pribula.
Yeah, it's like being in the red light district when you play Vanderbilt's offense. Your eyes are just everywhere looking at everything, and you can barely move. All right, so we're all going to ride with Vandy, but we'd be remiss, Brooks, if we did not bring up the rivalry against, as Cone calls them, the green ones.
The green ones, or as Mike Hart called them, little brother.
Yeah,
he
Michigan
said that, not me.
At Michigan State. David, I'm just gonna let you go first. Yeah, you want to go first or last? Listen, you dealer's choice.
Well, I'll just say it like this. I picked Washington last week, and Michigan put together one of their best performances. So I have to keep that going, right?
Yeah.
I have to take Michigan State. In East Lansing at night. This is their Super Bowl. Is that what I need to do to ignite a fire under Michigan?
Yeah.
To keep Paul Bunyan in Ann Arbor? Then I'll do that. Unselfish play.
Well, I'll tell you, Michigan's going to win.
Okay.
Michigan's going to win.
You like the 14?
No, I'm telling you right now, I'm not betting this game. This will not be a game that I put any of my hard-earned monies on. But I just, unless Michigan just goes in there and they've done it before. As long as they don't have to punt at the end of the game to seal it, I think you guys
they don't play good on the road.
Going to be all right. I just continue to watch Bryce Underwood grow. I think you guys are a lot better than they are up front. I'm going to go with Michigan, Blaine.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the 2-touchdown favorite here in Michigan.
Wow. Wow. Brooks, any shot for the Spartans out there?
None. And look, here's the deal. Big Ten fans, all in my mentions every week, and Cone's been one of them, complaining about SEC bias and how, things like College Game Day always end up on SEC campuses. And the reality is y'all have 4 ranked football teams in the Big Ten right now. Oregon's a 33.5-point favorite in the middle of October against a conference opponent. Indiana's a 24.5-point favorite in the middle of October against a conference opponent. And Michigan's a 14.5-point favorite on what's supposed to be an in-state rival. So, yeah, I roll with the Wolverines, as you should with every top-end Big Ten program when they play them bottom feeder foods.
Yeah. David?
Have I been in your mentions?
You've been in the DMs, dog? You've been sliding in there or whatever?
I'm not a conference guy. I mean, I say it as someone who actually played in one of these conferences. I couldn't care less about conference affiliation.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you that.
I don't pull for the Big Ten.
Well, why
like
is
football.
There's one bet on the board that I'm looking at, that Indiana UCLA game that's at 24.5. And God, do we think UCLA can keep it within 24?
It's going to be interesting.
Is that a good bet?
See. I like the over.
They're 3-0. They're 3-0. Coach Signetti said they're 3-0. And I got nobody else to throw these Big Ten shots at that's actually worth the salt and giving it back. And giving it back to me. And that's why I throw him at Cone, because I know he's at least got some stuff for me.
Yeah,
he gonna come back with
Cone's got hands.
Like, you didn't even play in this conference. When
the worst team in the SEC beats a good team in the SEC, that just shows how deep that conference is, right? Yeah. When the worst team in the Big Ten wins a big game, that shows how bad that team was that lost. I mean, UCLA was one of the worst teams in the Power Four. They win a couple games and everyone makes fun of that instead of saying, "Hey, look, maybe the Big Ten's on the rise at the bottom."
Well, I do though. I do think the argument that this year specifically, the Big Ten is a lot more top-heavy than what the SEC is. Now, do I think Ohio State?
Been, though?
No. Do I think Ohio State is better than any team I've seen in the SEC right now? I'll say that. Do I think Indiana could win the SEC this year if the schedule wasn't Oklahoma's? I would say that. But I think this season, as far as conference affiliation goes, I'm looking around. I'm just like, dude, there's so many teams. I think if Texas Tech gets hot, I know but
it's not good. I mean, it's the most boring conference right now. I mean, we did our college football playoff prediction. Yeah, yesterday. I mean, look at what we were talking about with the SEC scenario, the ACC scenario, the Big 12 scenario, and then we're like, no, these are the three big dogs in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Well, I think Indiana and Ohio State are going to be undefeated playing in the Big Ten championship.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But Brooks, man, dude, great having you on. Go ahead. Is there anything else you want to add before we roll? And then again, tell everybody where they can find your stuff, because it's really good, man.
No, you guys got a phenomenal graphics department. I'm sure it's been fluttering all over the screen all over the time.
Probably has.
At Brooks Austin BA on social media. You can find me on YouTube at the Film Guy Network. Appreciate you guys for having me on, man. Tremendous amount of respect for what you guys do as mutual content creators. So thanks for having me on.
Well, real recognize real, bro. We appreciate you having on. And make sure, if you're not subbed, come on, get on the train. Let's go. We're getting to 200. We appreciate you. And until next time, we're gone.